الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today is Friday, we nothing to do us, right? So, just before we start the nasiha is a couple of announcements. One, the art competition is on. Deadline for submission is next Thursday at Tarawih. From 5 to 12. Unfortunately, we don't have any more of those papers. Probably we'll get it tomorrow. I think it's 16 by 11, should be on. The second announcement, tomorrow, inshallah, Asia will start at 9:15. First 10 days from 9:15, because you realize that you're breaking fast a little later. So you need some more time to take your dinner and time to get here. So tomorrow, remember, inshallah, 9:15 from tomorrow. Jazakumullah khair. I know we've been talking a lot about taqwa, right? And we want to look at this here from the predecessors, the people of the past. And there is a wonderful story that was narrated by Abdullah Ahmed ibn Hanbal. Abdullah was the son of Imam Ahmed, and it is related in Tariq Baghdad, in the history of Baghdad, hundreds of years ago. So he said that one day, I was with my father at home. Abdullah was with his father at home, Ahmad ibn Hanbal. And a person came and knocked on the door. And my father said, son, go and check at the door to see who's there. He went to the door, and when he opened the door, there was a woman by the door. There was a lady standing there. She said to me, and he's related, Abdullah is relating what she said. She said to me, go to your father, that's Imam ibn Hanbal, and ask him permission, for I would like to ask him a question directly. I would like to speak to him directly. So he went to his father and he sought permission that this lady wants to come and talk to you directly. She has some questions that she wants to talk to you. And Imam Ahmed said, فَأَدْخِلْهَا, allow her to enter. Allow her to enter. فَدَخَلَتْ فَجَلَسَتْ فَسَلَمَتْ عَلَيْهِ. So she came, she entered, and she sit respectfully and convey salam to Imam Ahmed. And so she poses her question. She said, and I want you to follow me. She said, I'm a lady who for a living spin fabric. I do weaving. I spin fabric. But sometimes while I spin these fabric, most times I do it in the evening. And sometimes I run out of fuel from my lantern. So I will go outside and continue in the light, in the moonlight. The little moonlight that is there, I will go and continue spinning my fabric in the moonlight. So basically, I sit with my lantern and I'm there spinning, but sometimes I run out, so I will go and do it in the moonlight when the fuel finish in the lantern. So she said to him, so when I'm selling this fabric, do I have to tell the buyer that this portion was weaved with my lantern and this portion was weaved under the light of the moon? Very intricate question, right? So she wants to know if she has to tell the customer, do I need to make a distinction between the two? فقالها إن كان بينهما ترك فعليك بين ذلك. So Imam Ahmad said, it boils down to. But if I should ask you the question, what do you think would be the response? I have already given the response in Arabic, but what do you think will be the response of Imam Ahmad? Should she tell the buyer, this portion was weaved with my lantern, and this portion was weaved with the moonlight? Anybody?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. If there's a difference, yes.
Okay. So فقالها إن كان عندك بينهما ترك فعليك بين ذلك. So Imam Ahmad said that it boils down to the point that if you feel there is a difference in the quality, if there is a difference in the quality, if there is a difference in the quality when you're weaving with the lantern against when you're weaving with the moonlight, and there is a difference, you should clarify that difference. But if there is no difference between the two, and there is no defect, there is no problem not to tell them. Because there is nothing to tell them about, unless the quality is different. Because you see in Islam, you cannot mix qualities of stuff. And this is something that we have to understand. You cannot mix one quality with the next and sell it for the same premium price. If one quality is bad, you have to let your customer know it's bad. Alright? So Imam Ahmad is saying that to her, that as long there is no defect, while you are weaving, or there is no defect between the two, there is no difference. It boils down to the quality of the stuff. And she moved on to another question. And she says, Aninun Marid Shakwa. This question has nothing to do with the first one. She said, when a person is sick and the person is groaning in pain, is that considered to be complaining to Allah? You know, like if you have a fever or you have pain, and you know, sometimes people groan in pain. You know, how do we groan? How it goes? Things like that. So she's saying, and even Marid and Shakwa, she says, when a person is sick and the person groaning in pain, is that considered to be as complaining to Allah? The Imam said, no, it's not. If a person not feeling well, and if he groans, they are not complaining against Allah. If anything, they are filing their complaint to Allah. You see, complaining to Allah and complaining on Allah is two different things. You could complain to Allah. Like Zachariah complained to Allah about his old age and his hair, gray hair, and his bones getting brittle and wax feeble. He's complaining to Allah. So one is complaining against Allah, while the other is complaining shakwa wa shakaya ila Allah. You're complaining to Allah. And so the lady left. So what happened? Abdullah, the son, said, my father said, Ya bunayya. He said, oh my son, follow her and see where she is going. Because I cannot remember in my lifetime, no one ever came to ask me such intricate questions. Follow her and see where she is going and which family she belongs to. Because this story basically had impacted Imam Hanbal very much. He was very impressed with the question. So he said, follow her and see where she came from and to which family she belongs. So Ahmed said he followed her and he entered the house of Bishr ibn al-Harith. Now, I think I did mention about Bishr a few days ago at the Musalla, very short. But Bishr ibn Harith, he has a whole life story about himself. And very quickly, Bishr ibn al-Harith was a drunkard.
And one night he was walking the streets of Baghdad when it was raining, and he saw a piece of paper was flying. So he was drunk and he bent down and picked that paper up, and on the paper was written the name of Allah. So he picked it up and he brushed it off. He went into the perfume store and put some perfume on it, and he's drunk. But the least he knows that the name of Allah should not be on the ground. He picked it up. So he just said that in the night, he dreamt. He had a dream which says, Bishop, you have elevated the name of Allah. So I will elevate you in the dunya wal akhirah. Subhanallah. Next day, Bishop went for Fajr and changed his lifestyle. Bishop eventually became one of the topmost scholar of hadith in Baghdad. Right? One of the top scholars of hadith in Baghdad. So you could see a person, like one poet, he said, every scholar has a past and every sinner has a future. Every scholar has a past and every sinner has a future. And he became a great scholar. So he said to his dad that she enters into the house of a bishop. And then he said, it was impossible for her not to be the sister of Al-Bishop, Al-Harith. Knowing him, because Ahmad ibn Hanbal even sat as a student with Al-Bishop, right? And actually, Al-Bishop, just for your FYI, he was later known as Bishop Al-Hafi, Bishop the barefooted. After that, he never wear a shoe again. When he was asked why you never wear a shoe, he said, I was guided by Allah when I was barefooted, and I want to remain barefooted, that I can always remember when Allah has guided me. So the question here, and the lesson here, is things that we take for granted that impressed Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal is the taqwa of this lady. She had enough taqwa to find out if there is a difference of weaving her fabric in the moonlight, and if there is a difference in weaving her fabric with the lantern. For us, we don't even think about that, right? That would not even cross our mind. And this shows what is taqwa. Taqwa is taking care, being aware of Allah in every circumstances. As Umar radiallahu anhu says, that taqwa is like you're walking in a narrow street that is filled with thorns. And the way that you will tuck your clothes, not to be pricked by the thorn, that is taqwa. And that is what this lady had demonstrated to find out about that question, whether she should tell her customer. These are people and life of people of the past that we take and we learn from them. So you could imagine people had manifested great, type of relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you talk about taqwa, there are people whose heart was so soft and connected to Allah that any little things can make a difference to make sure they want to ensure that Allah will not take them to task on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So if you are in business or anything that you do with people, make sure you deal with them with fairness and ensure that taqwa is at its most for Ramadan. Helps us to develop taqwa. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.